So the ability for an actor or a musician to be able to use emotional preparation, to be able to do their craft, right? Their acting or their music is incredibly important. And the topic of how to fill yourself up with emotion is something that is, it is like the absolute holy grail of artist's effort. The ability to be able to fill yourself up with emotion. This is what we are describing and discussing today. And yes, there'll be things that I'll do to be able to show this, but right now I need to be able to explain this to you so that you can actually learn the techniques to be able to do that yourself. To be able to find this element within yourself and be able to learn techniques to be able to actually fill up yourself with emotion. It's incredibly different to be able to do a scene or a song with your emotional life filled up than if it's just depleted. The song will look completely different. The music video will look completely different. The life of the actor will be completely different. This is why we're called artists. We're called artists because we dig deep within ourselves, within an emotional range, to be able to find stuff for ourselves. Now, I have an emotions list. An emotions list is crucial ingredient for you to be able to learn how to do this. We're looking to be able to learn the techniques of, some people call it actor preparation, some people call it emotional preparation. Back in the day, it used to be called inner life. Back on Broadway, it used to be called inner life. Does the actor have inner life? On that show, did they hit their inner life for their theater in UK or in New York City? This is absolutely incredibly important. And it would be incredibly amazing for you to listen to what I'm saying, to be able for yourself brainstorm ideas for you to be able to expand that talent. You want to be able to expand that talent. So it doesn't even matter what emotion. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you identify it. Hi, there is this incredible program. It is a program I would really appreciate if you want to sign up, or at least consider for yourself if you want to sign up for. It will actually help you to make money getting monetized doing internet videos. And it is a program that goes through, and the goal is to be able to be monetized within 3 months. Now, they'll stick with you if it takes longer, right? And it will be incredible for you to be able to start doing things for yourself that are able to put yourself out there. Now, I think this is excellent for actors. I think it's important for actors to put themselves out there so that casting directors and the entire world in every single country can see your acting progression. So you can join me for live feeds, you can join this program that I'm mentioning that has the link in the description, and it will be an absolute benefit for you to be able to do so and get working so that you can actually get your progress in acting on record, right? Actually get yourself actually working in a way that actually shows people that you progressed. And if they can see that you progressed, over a certain period of time, and then all of a sudden, they can imagine how you could be able to fit into their projects, right? You identify an emotional range. You identify an emotion. Then you go through a process that is very similar, or you can even work with the absolute technique. And I have a video on something called emotional meditation technique. Now, emotional meditation technique is its own technique. But what we're talking right now is experimenting with that and with other things, with emotional preparation, with how to be able to get emotions in our acting and in our music. This is absolutely key. So, we're looking to be able to, one, identify an emotional range. Identifying an emotional range takes being able to match what you're intending to what the material actually is. So if the material is being able to find, maybe you're looking to find freedom, right? You're looking for freedom. And you want to be able to isolate that element of things that are free, that things that are the ability for you to have that freedom, that ability to have that transparency and that freedom of expression, that freedom of everything. Now look, freedom is its own emotion. You might need to be able to do this to do a commercial. You might need to be able to do this to be able to sing a song that you maybe don't really feel like singing at that moment, but you know that the song's great, and as soon as you get through the first verse, it just opens up inside of you, right? So we are looking at things, and the incredible ingredient is activation, emotional activation. We do the work to be able to work to match the materials to the desire of emotion, and then we work through the processes to be able to work with that. So if we're working with freedom, right, the emotion of freedom, we want to be able to isolate that element and do the process of emotional meditation, which is the ability to call that in, where you start to feel what you'll feel if you have freedom. You'll start to feel tingling sensations like you're a little bit flying or a little lighter. You'll start to be able to have yourself a little bit more lucid and more expressive. These are things that will actually happen when you're actually feeling like more free to be able to do something or able to do one thing or another. And then you want to be able to look and see if you're activating it. Are you activating some kind of, maybe you need to add some kind of intrigue to it. And that's perfectly okay. If you need to add a small part of another emotion with that to be able to get the larger release of freedom, absolutely, work with it. But the key is you want to be able to have activation. Hi, please open the description box below and check out all the fabulous links and things that will actually be able to help to develop your journey, you know, in art, in artistry, in trying to work to become an artist in acting. Now, what happens in activation is, you know, we're dealing with trying to make sure that we can fill ourselves up, right? And out. We want to be able to fill ourselves up completely with this desired emotion. So, we're going to get the ability to focus on it, focus on things that we can recall that bring us freedom, focus on things that we can imagine what would bring us freedom. So, let's say freedom for some people might be making over a certain amount of money that comes in every single month, right? That might be freedom. Now, can you put yourself in an ability to be able to imagine that and put yourself in a place where you can sit there and actually imagine it? Can you imagine being able to have that so you've got that freedom, right? And all of a sudden, you'll have this incredible thing start to happen inside you. The freedom from the burden that you've just released starts just filling you up. Now, don't stop there. Get something else. Let it take its effect. Let it have this real, you want to let that emotion realize itself within you, of course, right? Let that thing activate. Let it really have this ability, this incredible ability to be able to build out this talent. And then you want to go and dip back in the same situation. Are you going back in that emotional range? Are you going back to that? Some people call it an emotional ballpark. And you go into this element and you get back. Now, what else would cause you to have freedom? Well, maybe a freedom of being able to have a 4-day week. A 4-day week instead of a 5-day week. You have 4-day week every single week. That would cause you to have freedom. So this would be great. Now, I don't know about that for me. I like working, but the thing is this is a good example for you, right? So the example is a lot of people would want a 4-day week, 4-day week. So they or a 4-day weekend every month. Maybe that's something that would work for you. And you release that and you start to be able to imagine what that would be like. And you start letting yourself go. What would you do in 4 days? Or what would you do with a 4-day week? If you had every single weekend, had a 3-day weekend, what was your schedule going to be different? What would you plan trips? Would you be able to go into it? Now look, this is us exploring the ability for us to be able to find freedom. We know that these are items that we would be able to do that would be able to help us find it. So we're in this place where we are now having this discovery. And I've got giggles, I've got some joy about it because it's interesting, it's fun. It's a fun way to affect ourselves. We're working to be able to affect our own emotions. Now that's talent. Talent is the ability to affect and stimulate our emotional life, right? Our emotional talent. We are capable of being able to do this by working with ourselves to be able to activate this. So we're starting to activate this ability. We're starting to kind of feel like we're going places, we're doing something. And this is part of the emotion. This is part of the emotion building. Now, there are levels to emotional preparation. Now, the levels to the actor preparation, there's levels to the song. Do we want to be able to have this build up inside of us? And are we matching something that's appropriate within a script? Are we working to be able to get it for the first moment? Or are we allowing ourselves to do more with our emotional preparations and being respectful of the first moment, but understanding that we can go deeper and we can do emotional preparations for the entire scene? We can get in the emotional mood for the entire scene. And then live it out by having our ability to receive the other actor, right? Or for musicians, we're receiving the audience. Now all of a sudden, you get through the first verse, something just happens in the audience and things shift. And all of a sudden, this emotion comes out, Absolutely incredible. And you've got that feeling now that starts to resonate through you as an artist, as a singer, as some sort of artist and actor. So this is what we're looking to be able to do. And this is a small example, but it's a great example. We've got realizing ourselves. We've got the emotional stimulations, right? When we got the emotional stimulations happening with this process, we're relaxing into them. We're relaxing into them, and then all of a sudden they have a larger effect. So this is exactly how we're able to, for both music and for acting, be able to get this component of we get ourselves to be able to be activated emotionally and then enter into the imaginary world, into the imaginary circumstance of music, of film, of art, of theater, right? And then while we relax and start to receive the other, all of a sudden more of this stuff of receiving all of a sudden mixes with every single thing that we're doing with our emotional preparation. So we've got this thing that's now mixing with us. So we've got this thing that's now amplifying. This thing's building up. Now we're starting to feel some oh man, hair's going back the back of our neck. We're starting to feel a little amped up, but not through any other way except for through emotion. We're activating our emotion. We don't need anything else to do it. We need to be able to find the talent ourselves. And we do this ourselves. And then we got that working for ourselves. And we juggle that up. We juggle it till we get into our acting. And then when we get into our acting, we do it again. We receive the other person. We work with the other person. And then all of a sudden, boom, another thing comes over us. Another thing comes over. We have another moment happen. And then we enter this thing, happened to be called moment to moment. Hi, I'm inviting you to actually join me live on the internet. And if you would, you can bring your own emotional preparation. We can work on emotional preparation together, and we can really hone down and help build out that talent within inside of you. Now, even if all it is you want to just bring an emotional preparation, do a spoon river, I don't mind. Come, join us, and absolutely practice the talent of your own acting. We enter into this thing where we are in this thing that I call, what does I call it? I call it like when time stops. When time is like peripheralist, it just, and time is completely, absolutely, like it is like incredible. Because it's like time stopped, that's how much, in the moment you actually are. The only thing you're actually involved in is just in the present moment. And this is what we do as artists. And when we practice being able to do this, we are in a situation where we are learning to be able how to fill ourselves up with emotion. Now, look, join me for these other examples that I do of emotional preparation, and boop that like button and really give this some thought. What are maybe like even 2 or maybe even 3, maybe you have 5 things that you could remember that you could be in an emotion of something that you could actually activate or reactivate, or imagine something that would be activating to you. And then you start this thing, and you could do it on a single, absolute single piece of paper. You could take a single piece of paper and start your acting journal. I'm not joking. Start it with your acting journal. And then when you get an acting journal later on, you put that piece of paper inside. You start working and you building up. You build up your craft of acting. You work so that you've got this ability to be able to actually access yourself. That you can work to be able to access your talent. Okay, listen, it's been a lot of fun. Ask me some great acting questions, and I'll see you on the next one. Okay, so I teach people how to get upset. I have a lot of fun teaching people how to literally, purposefully upset themselves. Actually waking their own activations up so that they're emotionally activated. There's something that they can get upset about within a ballpark of emotion. But the key, the absolute key, is I don't want you to carry around that stuff in your life. That's what's called acting baggage. You want to be able to learn a technique. I have to be able to tell you that it would be a disservice for me to teach you all of these incredible techniques on how to access yourself as an artist without reminding you very nicely that you don't need your acting baggage in life. So feel free. Work on processes where you have a release time after you're doing your acting. And what this will do is it will actually amplify your work because it will give your acting muscles the break that they need in order to get the rest that they need so that your work will be even stronger. Okay? Thanks very much.